Hello everybody, welcome to Chuck's Creations. Today we're going to be working on a 2000 Saturn SL1 doing an alternator change. If you need to do this job, you're going to want to watch this video. I put the letter A on the pulley that is the alternator. That is where it lives down there. So the first thing we're going to want to do is take the positive cable off the battery. I'm showing you the tensioner here and how I put a 14mm wrench and I hook another 14mm wrench onto the open end of it to pull on the tensioner. To loosen the belt, you move the tensioner like you're trying to tighten the bolt on the tensioner, and it takes the tension off the belt. I can't do it one-handed, but as you can see, the belt is loosened up there. So I set the phone down, take the belt off. Now we're taking that upper alternator bolt off. You can reach underneath the power steering pump and feel that bolt. And once it breaks loose, they tend to come out by hand pretty easy, thank God. So now we're underneath. You can see the power wire, which is 10mm, and the lower alternator bolt with a nut is 13mm. So I've got a ratchet on one side, a wrench on the other, and once you break it loose, it's easier to move on the wrench side, and the ratchet will work for you still because the bolt spins inside of there. And so get that bolt and nut out of there. It's got a little push pin inside the alternator to keep it tight, so you got to wiggle the alternator a little bit and it'll come loose. So there's a couple of push pins on the inner fender well, plastic, and you pop the push pins out and you can fit the alternator out the side of the car here. I'm not overly concerned with being super careful with this old alternator, so I just push it out and it falls out there. And so got the new one. It's going to go back in the same way. So just pick it up and shove it in the hole from the outside. It doesn't necessarily need to be oriented. It's you do kind of want to make sure that the pulley is at least facing the right direction towards the front of the engine here, but we'll slide it up in there. It's a little difficult for me to do one-handed, but I manage. So now that the alternator is up in here, you're going to want to slide the bolt through and get the nut started. Don't tighten it up. It's just going to hold the alternator there. And so you leave it loose, and then we're going to go around up top and get the upper bolt in and tighten it down, and then we'll come back down here to the bottom. So it is a little bit of a tight area. You can see how I positioned my hand under the power steering pulley to get the bolt started. And here's a good shot of what that looks like. It needs to be run in by hand most of the way to get a deep socket on it, because those lines are in the way, as you can see right there by the ratchet. So tighten up the upper bolt, and then we'll jump back down underneath, tighten up the lower bolt, and so it's easier to move the wrench than the ratchet here, which operates the ratchet still. It's fine till you get to the very end. And then we'll take our single wire that has 4 pins in the plug-in, but it only uses a single wire on this car, and plug it into the alternator. Pull the warning sticker off. It says make sure the battery's fully charged before starting it up, or it could cause damage. Go ahead and get the charging wire, go ahead and tighten that up, and then get the rubber booty, work down the wire, which was a tiny bit difficult here, but you know, should be the easiest part of the job. Strangely, it never is. But got it oriented correctly, snapped on there nice and tightly. Get the push pins put back into the plastic here, and then go ahead and lock that push pin in. There's another one on the right hand side if you take it loose as well. So if you manage to keep the belt on all the pulleys without it, you know, flipping off and going crazy, you're done under the car for now. Actually, you're done under the car. So I've got a little T on the tensioner pulley there. That's what we're using the wrenches for. And on other videos, I see people saying, well, you didn't show how to take the belt on and off. So this is how I did it with normal tools here, is I locked 2 14mm wrenches together, and I got the belt started on the air conditioner pulley, and then I had to reposition my wrenches to get it the rest of the way up on the pulley. Easy enough. Didn't take very long, maybe 30 seconds here. It's a little bit of a tight space, but make sure your belt's on all the pulleys. You know, it's not partially off any, and the ribs are in their spot, and you'll be good to go here. So go ahead and reconnect the battery. This battery was not fully charged, so I hooked up jumper cables to jump start the car. And here we go. So we have success. No more battery light, and the car is back to life. Ooh, easy on the horsepower, easy on the pedal. There we go. So there it is. Alternator swap on a 2000 SL1 Saturn. The SL2 is the same procedure. These are probably the same from 98 to 2002 or something like that. And got the belt, serpentine belt, and the tensioner and how that works for you guys. So, and I'll get a shot of the belt routing here in case any of you were missing the sticker. So, appreciate you watching, and hope this helps you out. So, see you guys next time.